Hello and welcome to the Washington Council for High School College Relations Virtual College Planning Day. Thank you for joining us. We're really excited you're here to learn about three great schools today in our session: Central Washington University, Seattle Pacific University, and Olympic College. I have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions or comments to our presenters at any time. You can direct your questions to a specific school or schools by including the name of the school, so the representative will know that you are directing the question to them. You can also leave a question for all of our representatives to weigh in on about their institutions. Your camera and your microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. That's why that Q&A button is so important. And this has been one of many different sessions that have been a part of the programming for Washington students. We hope you enjoyed other sessions earlier today. Just like those sessions, this session is being recorded. You're going to be able to find all of these presentation recordings within about a week's time at the same website where you registered, strivescan.com/WashCouncil. I'd now like to turn it over to our first school. We're going to be hearing from Central Washington University.
All right, well, good morning, almost afternoon to everybody. My name is Andrea Baber, and I am a senior admissions counselor with Central Washington University. I actually am regionally based over in Kitsap County, so I serve everyone in Kitsap County, all the way over to the peninsula, and then down into Tacoma. And I'm actually from the Puyallup-Tacoma area, so it's really nice to be able to serve the students where I grew up. So, if you couldn't tell by our name, we are located in the center of Washington State. So if you've ever gone over the Snoqualmie Pass on I-90 towards Spokane or Pullman to go do, camping or something else, you've probably stopped in Ellensburg to get gas or food and didn't even know that there was a university there. Or maybe you did. But that is where our main campus is located. In total, we have around 12,343 students, making us a medium-sized institution for the state of Washington. We do also have some centers around campus as well, around the state as well. So those are for students who have earned their AA degree and would like to finish off their four-year bachelor's degree from Central, but a little bit closer to home at one of those centers. So take a look at our website if you'd like to know some more information about that. But being in the middle of the state, we're about an hour and a half from Seattle, we're 3 hours from Spokane, and 4 hours from Portland. So being in the center of the state, we have a lot of great outdoor activities our students like to participate in. So if you like skiing, snowboarding, we also have hiking, camping, river rafting, fly fishing, and we're really close to the gorge, where when we start to have concerts again, our students really enjoy being able to be close to those summer concerts. And again, being in the center of the state, you really do get to explore everything. And then we also get 300 days of sunshine every year, which is a little bit different where I live over in Western Washington, where it seems a little gloomy, especially today. And it's really nice because we get all 4 distinct seasons. So we get a fall, winter, spring, and summer. So because of our size, I talked about a little bit, our average class size is 25. Our faculty to student ratio is 18:1. So what does this mean? This means that all of our classes are taught by professors and faculty members, not graduate students or teaching assistants. And then we're just not designed to have large 100 people lecture halls. I think our largest hall holds about 75 students. And then as you work your way into your major, those classes get smaller and smaller. And so this really means that you get to connect with your faculty member. They get to know your name, what you're interested in studying, what you want to do after your time at Central, and then they're trying to help you reach those goals. So it's great to be able to make those connections. Those are people that can write you letters of recommendation that you can work with to conduct and publish research. So lots of opportunities there with our faculty members. But we have over 135 bachelor's degrees, majors and programs to choose from. Some of our unique ones that I want to highlight, one of them being our aviation management program. So if you're interested in being a professional pilot and getting a degree in that, we have that for you. We also have our own airport in Ellensburg just for that program. When I say airport, I mean like small airport. It's nothing like SeaTac. But we also have construction management, and then we have global wine studies and craft brewing, which are two very popular programs. And no, you don't just get to sit in class and like taste test different types of alcohol. It has a lot of science and chemistry involved in it. And then there's also the business side of things that you can learn about. So there's so much into it. And with it being such a booming industry within the state of Washington and Eastern and Central Washington, it's a really popular major. Some of our top majors include programs within business, education. We're actually founded as a teaching institution, so it's always been one of our strongest programs. We have a great music and theater program, which there is an audition component to be in those majors, and then also the sciences. But my favorite thing about Central is that you don't have to have a particular major in mind when you first get here. So you can take your time, work through our general education coursework, and discover what major or majors are of interest to you, and then decide, sometime your sophomore, definitely by junior year. So we have a lot of great student life and activities, and I am so excited for this fall when we are bringing a lot of those back. My all-time favorite was Monday Movie Madness, where we show a free new movie in our on-campus theater. But we do concerts, guest speakers. We have our CIRC, which is the Student Union Recreation Center. And on the Recreation Center side, we have a 3-story rock climbing wall. And if you get to the top, you can look out, there's windows, and you can see all of Ellensburg and the beautiful mountain range. We also offer student jobs. So if you're interested in earning some extra cash or helping to get, pay your way through college, that's a great opportunity, as well as study abroad. And then we are really big on community and giving back. So you can always volunteer with our CLCE, again, to do different projects throughout the community. We have over 100 clubs and organizations that you can choose from. This is a small sample of what we offer. Some clubs are going to be based on your major or your academic or career goal. So there's like psychology club or pre-med club. We also have some that are culturally based clubs, and then some that are just for fun. So I think my favorite is called Geek. It's gamers enjoying each other's company. And it's a great way to connect with others who also have the same interest as you. So we are NCAA Division II at Central, and this is our list of our men and women's varsity sports. These athletes are eligible for scholarships, but unfortunately not every athlete receives one. And maybe you're not a varsity level athlete like myself. You can always go and support your team, or you can participate in our intramural sports. And these are probably the most popular activities that you could do on our campus. So this is you playing with your friends against other Central students. There's no like GPA requirements or anything. And you're playing usually for some fun swag items, free t-shirts or free food, and bragging rights, of course. But it's, again, one of our most popular things our students like to do. So how do we get to Central? So we are what's called rolling admissions, meaning while we do have a priority deadline of March 1st, you're welcome to apply after that. And if you are a junior, the best time to start applying to Central and many other colleges would be starting September, your senior year. So you can find our application on our website. There is a $60 application fee or also fee waiver. We need your official high school transcripts, and then we are test optional for SAT and ACT. Now, if you have a cumulative GPA of a 3.0 or above and you apply to Central, you are guaranteed admissions, which is pretty exciting. If you don't quite have that GPA, don't stress. The lowest GPA we can consider is a 2.0. And then at that point, we probably ask for additional information such as a personal statement. So paying for college, I just want to do a quick overview. This is an estimated total for an entire year at Central. So break down the cost of tuition and fees, room and board, which is your housing and your meal plan, since we do have a first year live-in requirement. And then we also have an estimate for books and supplies that can cover books, parking passes, gas from traveling, from visiting family. So again, this is just an estimated total of just a little under $22,000. Now, we have a lot of great online experiences that our students can participate in if you're interested in learning more. One being some virtual admissions appointments with a counselor. So I host them over the phone or video, and so do all of my coworkers. I've had students on video say, hey, I have questions. Can I show you my application? And so we'll walk through the application and I can answer questions for them. Or sometimes I share my screen to say, hey, here's some financial aid resources that I want to let you know about, and make sure that you know all the information you need for your next steps at Central. But we also do virtual campus tours, which are pretty popular right now. It's led by one of our current student ambassadors, followed by an admissions appointment. We do transfer Tuesdays. So if you do choose to go to a 2-year college first and then transfer over, you can learn about how to do that. And then we offer Spanish speaking appointments for our Spanish speaking students and their families. And then lastly, I wanted to know there are more of me, like I mentioned. So this is my contact information as well as all of my coworkers. And you can see that we split up the state of Washington and other states. You're always welcome to reach out to us. You can call, text, email. You could also follow us on social media. I know we do a lot of Instagram giveaways, so keep a lookout for those as well. And I hope you enjoy the next presentation.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing about Central Washington. All right, we're moving on to our next school, which will be Seattle Pacific University.
All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope y'all are doing great. It's almost the weekend. How exciting is that? And yeah, Jennifer, let me know if I'm coming through clear. I'm seeing a little flickering on my Zoom. Cool, looking great. My goodness, it's not a Zoom meeting. If at some point you don't have to ask that. So thank you all for joining today. We know that this looks a lot different than our normal events and normal fairs where we actually get to see y'all's faces. I am happy to talk to you about Seattle Pacific today. I'm going to talk a little bit about who we are, but before I do, who I am Luke Davis. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here at Seattle Pacific University. I've been here 5 years, and I love that y'all are already watching this because this is a great example of we have 3 admissions counselors here that are here to talk about their schools, right? So one of the biggest things that I wish I did when I was looking at SPU, I somehow kind of stumbled on us. I really enjoyed my experience as a student, came back to work. So obviously they accepted me back, which I think is still kind of weird sometimes, but I guess it worked out for me. But one of the things I wish I had done was really engage with admissions counselors more, especially like my junior year too. Everything you do now is going to make your next senior year even easier about the college process. So I love that you're already watching this, hopefully taking notes somewhere about the schools that you are liking and the schools that you're hearing about. But again, think of all of us admissions counselors, think of us as the Google search engine or Siri of each school, so that at any time you have questions about the school, no matter what it is, start with the admissions counselor. We know that some of y'all have siblings and family, maybe mentors or college advisors that are helping you through the college process. And some of you are navigating this by yourself and with a lot of Google searching, right? So know that you have advocates and you have people at the schools that want to help be a part of the process. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. This is the reason why we all do this job at admissions, is to be actually helpful to you. Those of y'all that aren't aware of who we are a small private Christian school. We are located in Seattle, Washington. I don't know if y'all have access to chat, but I know we all love seeing questions and comments come in. If y'all have been to Seattle, just throw a quick yes or like a yay or a Space Needle, Seahawks. If any Seahawks fans are in here, throw a little Seahawks love in the chat. But for those that have been to Seattle, we're about 10 minutes north of the Space Needle, right? And we're a small campus. So we're about 2,700 students. That's smaller than some of the high schools I visit, which is wild to me. But then especially for this kind of average classroom size, about 20, I even had a class of 8 students my senior year and really appreciated having that kind of access there too. One of the biggest things I'm going to talk about when we kind of have this, small campus experience, we're a small campus, right? But we're in this large city of Seattle. It's a great city to be in. I've already mentioned Seahawks, Sounders, Mariners. We're getting our Kraken NHL team, which I'm super stoked for. I love this picture because it shows the water. We really are a city that feels like a coastal town in a lot of ways. You hear the seagulls, you eat the good fish and chips, all that kind of stuff, right? And where our campus is, not only do we have this little canal, if you can see my mouse running across campus, so you can literally see sailboats from campus, see the sailboats going down the canal. you also have all of the access of Seattle right outside your door. So not only are you going to have this kind of small community, you're going to step outside your door and your backyard is the city of Seattle. You may have heard of small companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Boeing, Nordstrom's, REI, Bungie, Nintendo, Valve all have headquarters up here. You really have a lot of access. And so a lot of what we try to do is basically connect you with those employers as soon as possible, because we know that's one of the biggest things to both help find what you want to do, but also get you that practical experience. So we've had nurses work at Seattle Children's Hospital, interns go on to work at Tesla or SpaceX or any of the smaller places around Seattle too. We have a whole office called the Center for Career and Calling that all they do is help with that career and vocational aspect of what you're gonna be called to do, right? What are you gonna find meaning in? We're gonna help you figure that out too. Your academics, whether it's study abroad programs, whether it's internships, I already talked about, whether it's through the classes, we really want your faculty and the students you're learning with to be part of your mentors for the entire process, right? While we're a small school, we do not have a small list of majors. So you'll see some of our top programs, again, business administration, computer science, engineering, nursing, pre-med, psychology are all really, really big for us. But then you also see some really interesting programs here like linguistics, interior design, apparel design and merchandising, nutrition, music therapy. You see a lot of different programs here, right? So one of the things I always tell students is think about location, think about that academics, think about what you're interested in studying. If you've ever taken a class you don't like, maybe I won't make you raise your hands right now wherever you're watching, in case you're watching back in person and your teachers can see. But if you've ever taken a class you didn't like, sometimes that can be a good example of what not to major in. But if you've taken classes and you're like, man, I would study this on my own. I look up Wikipedia articles on this all the time. I watch all the YouTube videos on this. That's sometimes a good sign of what to major in too. But know that, like I think was already said today, we don't expect you to have the major completely figured out. We know there's a lot of space to do that, right? So if you're paying attention, location, academics, and then what is the student experience like? What does campus feel like? For us as a Christian school, one of the things that I appreciate that we do differently is that we have, for students who want to dive deeper into Christian faith, we have opportunities for them, but we don't require any statements of faith from our students. We see from our faculty and staff, about 30 different Christian denominations represented, from Protestant to Catholic to non-denominational. We really have a diverse viewpoint represented there. There's not one cookie cutter belief system for any SPU staff, faculty, or student, which I really appreciate learning from. It means you really get to kind of find that common ground with people that believe very differently than you and say, hey, we might have very different beliefs. How do we, reach across the aisle? How do we navigate this? How do we commit to helping people, even while we have these different beliefs? It really makes for kind of these authentic and growing conversations that I really appreciated as a student. Besides that too, I think this is the thing we're all most excited about. Being back to in-person this fall. We just announced this, our plan, if any seniors are watching this, to be back in person this fall. Whether it's glow-in-the-dark paint dance parties, whether it's a climbing wall and carnival games for our spring Shapadua festival. I don't know why it's called Shapadua. That's just the name. It's a fun word to say. If you're watching, go ahead and just say Shapadua right now. It's a great word to say. But whether that's through our residence halls, being such a small school, you can't walk across campus without seeing someone that you recognize, either from our clubs, from our intramural programs, from doing a study project together with. You have that core community. 11 years later, those are still my best friends, were the guys that I lived with right next door. But we also know that that student life piece is just so important. So as you're thinking about colleges, obviously think about where it's located, right? You want to be in Seattle. You want to be, I'm a Portlander. I'm Polish and Scottish, which means I sunburn like instantly. So I wanted to stay in the Pacific Northwest and love it. So location was pretty big for me. Academics, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but when I saw kind of the student experience and how students were known and cared for at this school, that was one of the things that really drew me here and helped me come back to work here as well. So those are all kind of three things I take, especially for juniors. Think about those three aspects when you look into all these different schools, right? We know one good way to look for colleges is to be like, what, does it have a business program? But about 60% of college students change their major too. So we know even there, it's nice to have those make sure there's other things you like about the school rather than just the major too. How to apply, if you're all our juniors watching this, I want you to, wherever you are watching, raise up a hand and then just pat yourself on the back because you are a junior watching this. I did not do any of this stuff my junior year. Y'all are already so ahead of the game. So pat yourself on the back. I'm gonna give you a virtual fist bump. There we go. Y'all are gonna be so prepared, which is great. How to apply, most of the time fall around your senior year, you'll start submitting applications to colleges. All we need is the application and the transcript. We are test optional. So we will take a test score if you have it and you want to send it to us, but you do not have to, which I think is great. We're just making things a bit more equitable and easy, removing some barriers there with removing the need for tests. We might do letters of recommendation interviews, And the biggest thing for us, I've heard some people when they're looking at private schools is is it too competitive to get in? Will I even get in? We do not have a minimum GPA, right? We have a middle 50% of chunks, but that means that 25% of our students are below that and above that too. So we really see a whole different variance. And that's kind of why we, again, look for those students that kind of align with that mission of ours to engage the culture and change the world. How are you impacting the world around you? What things have you been able to do outside of just the grades and academics, are all things that we look for. Here's the basic timeline for y'all. I know I got a question last session about what's the timeline look like? When do I apply? A lot of schools like us will do early action deadlines. It's always great to apply early, especially for those ones that are non-binding, which means that early action deadlines are like going out to coffee. You can go out to coffee with lots of different people. You should be going out to coffee with lots of different people and getting to know people, right? That's great. Early decision is like getting engaged. You ideally should only be doing early decision with one school, because if you get accepted, that's the school you're going to, right? But any school you can apply early to tends to be a benefit to you, because you get your acceptance letter and your financial aid back faster. Speaking of financial aid, one of the biggest things I want y'all to remember about us is that we cut our tuition by 25%. That's amazing. Y'all picked a good time to be looking at SPU. We've been trying to work on this for a while. We know that private schools, especially, a lot of them are reaching 50,000 plus as a tuition, which is just insane to me. I did not have 50,000. I still don't have $50,000. I did not have it as a student. But cutting our tuition not only means that all your scholarships go farther, we're still offering scholarships, and we also are capping our future tuition increases. A lot of schools don't tell you that they actually increase their tuition every year. We're capping that, committing to that, and it's, again, a lower tuition. And we're still offering all these scholarships too. So I love talking about this. There's tons of different resources. I'll even put some resources for outside scholarships in the chat, but know that we want to do our best to make it equitable and affordable too. So when you're looking at these schools, all good things to know about. Whew. Take a deep breath. Y'all are doing great. I'm going to turn it over to my next presenter.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Luke, for presenting on Seattle Pacific. All right, our next school we're going to hear from is Olympic College. And as Elsa comes on board, I just want to remind everybody we have that Q&A button where you can ask questions to all of the schools or one of the schools. So definitely think if there's anything you want to follow up on, and you can ask the schools that have already presented or put something in there for Olympic College already. All right, Elsa, take it away.
Thank you so much. And following Luke's lead, I just want to confirm that you can see my slides right now.
I can't see them yet, Elsa, but I can see and hear you.
That's what I was afraid of.
It's just the 2020-2021 life.
Okay, so this should be working then. So awesome. My name is Elsa Cryer. I'm the Outreach and Recruitment Manager for Olympic College, and I'm really excited to talk to you today about Olympic College, but also community colleges in general, because there's some major differences between a community college and a university. So I wanted to start with a quote, and I just love this quote by Malcolm X, that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So all of you are taking a fantastic step towards your education by hearing about the different possibilities that are available to you. So I want to congratulate you on that. As you may know, Olympic College has 3 local campuses in Kitsap County. So we're in Bremerton, Paulsbo, and Shelton. And we also have a robust online campus for students who want to take classes that way. Certainly in the last year, that's been the option for a lot more students. And so although we're located here in Western Washington, it really is an awesome place to start, and you can go anywhere. So this is a map just showing all the different universities across the nation that our students have gone to after Olympic College and are doing some pretty amazing things out there. So as I mentioned, we're a community college. There are 34 community and technical colleges in the state of Washington, and there's a couple major differences. The first I wanted to highlight was our admissions process. So Olympic College, we are open enrollment or open door policy, which means that every student that wants to come and study with us can apply and is accepted. We have no minimum GPA requirement or test score requirement like that. We really are open to everybody. Where selective admissions processes at major universities, they may look at your application materials and decide whether or not you get in. The other major difference is the types of degrees and certificates that are offered. So unique to community colleges are certificates that you can earn in professional technical fields, and professional technical are those hands-on practical skills where you're learning how to do a specific trade in a field like nursing, welding, or manufacturing. Our certificates are short-term, as short as 10 weeks, and range up to 2 years. They're also stackable, which means that you can earn several certificates as you progress along in your degree. So at the time that you graduate, you're a little more appealing to employers because you have multiple certifications in specific aspects of a job. We specialize in associate degrees, which is the first 2 years of a bachelor's degree, which means that you can start at Olympic College, earn your first 2 years, and then transfer into a university with junior standing and only have 2 more years to complete your bachelor's degree. We also have some standalone bachelor's degrees in fields like Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Computer Information Systems, Digital Filmmaking, and Organizational Leadership. Through our university partners with schools like Western Washington University and Washington State University, we have over 15 bachelor's degrees that can be earned locally right in Kitsap County on the Olympic College campuses. And then we also have apprenticeship programs, which you are being paid to go to school by your employer. So we partner with employers all over the region so that you're working and getting hands-on experience at the job, but then also going to school at the same time. Huge benefit of that is your employer typically pays your tuition and fees for you. So not only are you earning money, but your college education is also paid for you. So there's several benefits of choosing the community college. One certainly is cost, right? We're about 1/3 of the cost of a major university. And we know that finances can be a huge barrier for students and their families to enter college. And so we really are affordable for folks. You can possibly live at home or stay close if you're interested in that. Much smaller class size, more individualized attention from your professors. Also a much more diverse student body. So different from that typical 18 to 24-year-old you might find on a university campus. Our youngest student is 14 right now, and our oldest student is 84. So you really are learning alongside people from all walks of life and a lot of different unique perspectives in the classroom, which really enriches your experience. Perhaps you're undecided, which is totally normal and okay. It's a great place to explore your different options because you can take those prerequisite and common core classes like math and English that you'll need to anyways for a bachelor's degree while you're taking lots of different classes to explore what other options there are for you and what you might be interested in. Perhaps you didn't do as well as you were hoping in high school. So a community college also has open enrollment. You can come there and rebuild some of those skills or improve your grades so that you're more appealing to the university when you're ready to transfer. Lots of flexibility in what you can do. And of course, professional, technical, those hands-on, those high demand, high paying jobs that employers are looking for right now. So you're really being trained to do a specific job, which makes it much easier to find a job after you graduate. So we have lots of areas that you can study. You can really study just about anything you'd like at Olympic College. And so these are just some of the different associate transfer degrees that we offer to get you started on that education, no matter where you end up. And then I wanted to highlight some of our professional technical fields as well. So these are things that move that finish line just a little bit closer if you think the idea of going to school for 4 more years might be too much. So these are fields where, like I said, you can go for as short as 10 weeks or up to 2 years to earn the credentials you need to be appealing to those employers out there. So the new student enrollment process, there's kind of 5 major steps you need to complete. The first, of course, is to apply for admission, fund your education, get placed. I'll talk about that in just a second. And then you'll choose your classes with your advisor and enroll into those classes and start having fun. So to apply for admission, you can click that red Apply Now button in the upper right-hand corner of the olympic.edu website. We are free to apply. We have no priority deadlines. So you can apply at any time whenever you decide that Olympic College might be a good choice for you. There's no high school transcripts or test scores required on the application. It's pretty seamless. You don't have to upload any additional documentation for that. We encourage all of our students to submit either the FAFSA or WASFA application. For our students who are lower income or maybe their family doesn't have quite as much income, most students have their tuition fees fully paid by financial aid. So you don't have to pay anything out of pocket to attend Olympic College. And so you can find out more information about how to do that application. There's lots of people who will help you, like me, everyone else on this call, your high school counselor, and then also online by clicking that Pay in for College link on our website. I want to call your attention to our OC Foundation. We have an awesome foundation that awards over $300,000 in funds to Olympic College students every single year. So these scholarships are specific for students going to Olympic College, which means that right away you're competing against a much smaller pool of students. There is lots of scholarships in there for every type of student, and most students who apply through this scholarship application get paired with at least one funding source to help them pay for their education. So I definitely encourage you guys to apply there. They open every single spring and are closed and reviewed to be used in the following fall. So for any seniors in the room, that application deadline this year is April 30th to apply for that. And then anyone younger, you'll just want to check back in the spring for when this opens back up again, typically in January of every single year. So I mentioned that there are no test scores required to attend Olympic College. However, we do have to determine your placement. That's your math and English starting points, because we don't want the classes to be too hard that you're not going to be successful, but we also don't want them to be too easy that it's a waste of your time and money. So students typically take what's called the Accuplacer Assessment. That's a online test that you take. It is not pass fail. It's multiple choice. All they're really trying to do is judge where your skills are at so they know where to start. And high school students are oftentimes exempt from taking this Accuplacer because you can also use your unofficial high school transcripts or smarter balance assessment scores to determine that placement as well. So we can talk through that with you and decide if that's right for you. We have our Ranger resources. We are the OC Rangers, and it's everything you need to navigate through college. And so you can visit this webpage by clicking Student Orientation at the very top of our Olympic College homepage. And this is filled with step-by-step instructions, videos you can watch, guides you can see, everything you need to do to get through that enrollment process. But of course, I also want you to feel like you could reach out to us. And so I work at the Olympic College Welcome Center. We are standing by and excited to talk to you. You can certainly call or email us, but you can also drop in, no appointment necessary, to our virtual office. We're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4:30. And so you can connect via telephone or Zoom. You'll come into that office and right away be connected one-on-one in a breakout room with one of our enrollment specialists who can answer any questions you have or help you through this process. So thanks so much for listening to my presentation. That's what I got for you.
Thank you so much, Elsa, for sharing Olympic College. All right, so you can see that in the chat, we have had some of our representatives are putting their information in there, and to be able to share out, I want to make sure attendees can grab that. If there's any last Q&A questions that people want to put in that Q&A box, and for our representatives to take a look at the question we do have in there right now. So while we're doing that, I'd love to do a live question and have each of our representatives come back on camera. And I'd love for each of you to share in the same order that you presented, to talk about a favorite event or tradition on campus. It can be academic or student life, whatever it is, to give everyone a little more insight into your unique and awesome student cultures. So we'll start with Central Washington.
Awesome. I think my favorite event, it's coming up at the end of summer, beginning of fall, which is our big welcome week and move in for our students. We're so excited to have everyone back on campus. It's a big event because we literally help you and your family members move all of your items that you brought from home into your room. We make sure that you are all set up and ready to go. There's a ton of activities for you to participate in, ways to learn about clubs and orgs you want to join. And then the town of Ellensburg also participates. So they will do discounts and deals and giveaways so that you can get familiar with their community as well, just to welcome students back to Ellensburg.
That's great. I think for us, we're all very excited to see students again in person. So I think for Seattle Pacific, one of the things we do is the first Friday of every single quarter, right? So all three of our quarters, we do some type of massive all-campus event. So all of our students, commuter students, students living on campus, know that just put that hold on your calendar because there's going to be a big student event. So whether that's a giant march and parade to watch one of our soccer games where we march up and over the hill wearing all our Falcons gear and bringing drums and instruments and being loud and excited, or if it's a glow in the dark paint dance party, laser tag on campus, something giant that you just know to expect that'll most likely involve like something wild like that. The first Friday this fall, I think, is going to be the most fun I've had all year, seeing everybody running around doing whatever it is we decide to do. So that would be one of them for sure.
Yeah, this is so fun. I love hearing about the other events on the other campuses. And so much like what was just shared, I think my favorite singular day or event is every spring we do Student Appreciation Day, typically in May. So right as the final quarter is wrapping up and folks are getting ready for summer or graduating, we bring on a carnival to campus in the big center green of our campus. We have food trucks, all sorts of stuff happening, a dunk tank where we put the president up there and have people try to knock him into the water, as well as every single quarter we do welcome week. The first week of the classes is filled with variety of events and navigation to help students, but that one day is probably my favorite.
Oh, I agree with Elsa. I love hearing about these events, and I hope that it's given our attendees a little extra sneak peek to think, oh, that sounds awesome or exciting. I want to be a part of that too, and to be able to see themselves on campus as one of those students enjoying being together with the campus community and all that energy and excitement there. Well, we've reached the end of our time together. I want to say thank you first to our admissions representatives for not just representing your schools with those logistics, the facts, the figures, the dates of the admissions process, but your obvious energy and excitement for the student experience in and out of the classroom. I hope that everyone who's attended feels even more inspired and curious to learn more. Even 10 minutes is only just scratching the surface of what each of these schools has to offer. And these admissions representatives and their colleagues are your number one resource. As it's been said during the presentation, reach out, ask questions. There's nothing too big or small as you and your families navigate the college decision process. These are your number one people to go to. And I think you learned from today that they're fun, they're approachable, and they really love what they do. They're very passionate about that. All right, so as we close out with the logistics today, when you end the box or close your box on your window, there's going to be a very quick 4-question survey. 4 questions, they're super simple and easy. We would appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions that were happening as part of the programming for Washington students. We really hope that you enjoyed attending sessions. And perhaps you're excited to watch some of the recordings and learn about more schools or share this one with friends and family. So in about a week's time, you'll be able to find all of the session recordings at that same website where you registered, strivescan.com/wash council. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. Best of luck in your college search process. It can feel overwhelming, sometimes confusing, but I promise you it's a lot of fun along the way. It's a great adventure as you decide your next steps after high school. Have a great day. Thanks again for being here. Bye.